Hello there, I'm Christine and today I'm offering a reading for Melissa, who's kindly allowed me to share this reading. And the spread that I'll be doing, because it's a past life reading, was a spread that Liz Dean created, and she was inspired by Dr. Brian Weiss's book Many Lives, Many Masters. So what I'd like to do now is just quickly change cameras so you can see the cards. And here we go. Just going to use the minors now. I don't read reversals. And here we have our spread. Melissa, you in a past life was someone who cared for children and defended children. You were a protector of children. You were a woman and you were very in charge. You were in charge of children, and you were in charge of an organisation that looked after children, and you were a very benevolent person, and you were very creative and kind, and you also were quite efficient, and you saw the plight of children that were struggling, and you created a haven for them. One of the things you were challenged by was that there was just so much work to do, because the institution that you were in charge of was on the edge of town. It was a long way for people to come and find you, and long way to get supplies, and at times there was sort of like feeling quite isolated, because in these times it was just so much work, and everything was carried by hand to get supplies, and so it was quite a tough life because of distance with that. You have this energy around you of a benevolent man who was able to help donate funds to you, and was very supportive and kind, and wanted to sort of see your endeavours flourish, and was very helpful to you, so that there were funds there to be able to do the work that you wanted to do. You first got into this vocation, if you like, because you just sort of found that there were children out there who were struggling due to loss of a parent, and who had been away at war, and that way these children were left with no one to care for them. And so this was what was behind it, because you had this sort of conflict about who was going to look after children of war. You often came across as someone who was closed to change, and at times when you were confronted with change, you would need to sort of shut down and think about it. And a lot of people got frustrated with you, because you, even though that wasn't your true nature, because you were really about helping the children and doing what was right for the children. But when other people in the society uh, wanted you to make changes or make move and various other things, you were quite adamant and always needed that time to think, because for you ultimately you were the defender of children and protector. You were recently, in the past, recently had this, I don't know if you've had this dream about this, but I get a sense that you were offered some money and help and extra help with the benefactor here that you had, always there to give a helping hand. And I sort of just sense with that card that perhaps that you've had some sort of dream along these lines, but only you can tell me that at the end of the reading, which is interesting to see. Helping others who were less fortunate for yourself was what you were all about. Making people's life better for the future was what you were all about. And you had this very strong child protection energy in this time. You also, there was obviously restrictions for yourself, and as I said, with these, feeling restricted by others around you, feeling restricted by what society said you should be doing because you were a woman on her own, and that was sort of unheard of in those days. So as much as you would be one step forward and one step back, society in the community of the time that you were in were always sort of trying to put boundaries down around you and put restrictions on what you were doing. Because in the times that in the medieval times, children were labour, and people wanted them to have be labour, and so you felt that there needed to be more. So there was restrictions there. One of the things that gave you grief was that the mayor of the town really sort of would often come down wanting to shut you down at different times, but you were able to stand your ground with him and do what was right to be able to help these children. You were able to draw your strength because at times you'd been through hardship yourself, and at times you also found your parents weren't there, even though you came from a a family of well means. You were also able to you knew what it was like to be hard done by, and you'd seen so much hardship that obviously that was something that you wanted to do. What karma that you have carried over from this life into the next life is that you still want to be able to create a way to be able to help others. You have this strong sense of helping others, making other people's life better, and also very strong connection with children, either working with children or having children of your own. Is this what you carry over into this current life from your last life? Sorry. So that's with a view for the future. What you carry over into this life is helping people. So there's a strong sense around that, and looking to the future on how things can be better for children and creating things for children. So there you have the reading, Melissa. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, and if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, please put a comment in the box. And once again, thank you so much, Melissa, for allowing me to share this reading, and I look forward to hearing your comments on it, Melissa.